like...
Okay, response to gratex.
I felt this shuddering, awful spasm of pain going up my back, and I was like, I didn't scream or anything. The first thing I thought was, I'd better get myself in this position. I've got a brow sprain that needs to be rested and relaxed. But, you know, I suppose some people say, so you're saying accept it, or just be rational about it, forget about it, we should learn to cope with pain. Pain is weakness leaving the body and so on. But all those kind of bullshit things, you know, exploded, you know, trauma. But more of what I'm saying is not how other people should react and how other people should feel about these things. I'm saying how I feel about it. You know, I'm a person who's going through pain, currently going through pretty serious pain. And I don't want to die. Now, there are times when I've been through really serious pain and want to die. But even if I sum up all the yes or no, to be or not to be, over the entire length of my life, including all the serious pain, well, just only all the serious pain, inclusive of all the pain moments, through most of those pain moments, I wanted to live.
Well, I don't think that's relevant to antinatalism. I mean, did you want the pain to continue? I doubt it. If you could have prevented that pain, would you have? Or would you have just let the pain go? I mean, I'm not in pain right now. I still want to get off this planet. If death is the way, then bring it on. Except for the fact that I'd be leaving behind people that would miss me. That's what's keeping me here. And the fact that I'm one of the few antinatalists out here arguing the argument. So, the fact that you don't want to die isn't a counter to the antinatalist argument. So...
Yeah, does that make me irrational? You know, am I wrong? You know, this is my conclusion. How am I...
Well, again, you're not on topic. Whether you want to die or not isn't the question. The question is, do you have the right to bring another being into the world? That's the question. The antinatalists saying you don't have that right. Nobody has that right. They have the ability that was just handed to them by nature, but nobody has the right to use that ability. We have all kinds of ability. I could punch the accelerator right now. I have the ability to ram the car in front of me. I talked about this in another video. I have the ability to do all kinds of things. We're making an ethical argument. Right and wrong behavior. That's what philosophy is. The rational investigation of the truth and principles of being, knowledge, and conduct. This is what we're talking about. What's good conduct and what's bad conduct? Like this person is driving like an old lady. I'd really like to just ram her. It'd be kind of fun just to do something different. But I know it's wrong, so I don't do it.
You know, it's based upon facts, so
well, yeah, if your opinion is based, I mean, your opinion that you don't want to die, how does that play into the right or wrong behavior? I mean, we're talking about interacting with others. I mean, what you do to yourself, whether you live or die, that's really up to you. I mean, if you choose to die, that's your choice. But I would advise anyone to think of the consequences. That's what the antinatalist argument is about. The consequences of your conduct. I mean, yeah, if I killed myself, yeah, my suffering would be over. I'm done. But I said this in another video. Death is not bad for the dead, death is bad for the living. So yeah, I mean, opinions can be wrong though. So, you know, I'm assuming you're still of the opinion that antinatalism is illogical or something, or later on you're going to say it's childish, but you haven't given a valid counter argument. It's a non sequitur.
You know, it's based upon the fact that I have values. My values exist, and it's based upon, you know, how I view life, and it's a fact that I view life that way. So my opinion is all based on fact. Well, you know, how can that be wrong?
Well, if you think it's okay to bring children into the world, then you're wrong. Tell us why it's okay. You're not doing that. You're talking about stuff that's not relevant to the subject at hand.
It's just ridiculous to think that you can make an argument as to why life shouldn't go on to exist. And if it doesn't exhibit the argument, then it must be irrational.
See, that's complete straw man. That's not the argument. I've never said that. Who said that? Anyhow, to be continued.
That's just childish argumentation. It does nothing to talk about where values come from.
Yeah, well, the fuck are you talking about? Who made that argument? That isn't the argument.
It just reduces everything to some simplistic DNA game. Like, that's what's really important. That's what's of import, you know.
No, what's important is being brought into the world without your consent. I mean, that's the fact. You cannot get consent from your progeny. And it could all go bad. Alright? You're obligating your progeny to live on this planet of death and misery, and you didn't get consent. So, whatever.
It's just people reducing the universe down to whatever simplistic thing that they can use to try and bully forward a point.
Bullshit! I'm just going to have to call bullshit on that. You're saying any simplistic point. It's not just any simplistic point. It's a very specific point. You're bringing someone into the world that you don't need to bring into, that you don't need to bring that new person into existence. You just don't need to. And you're going to do it because I don't know of a good reason. You just think you can because you can. I don't know. No one's telling us why. no one's given us a good reason to procreate. So, whatever.
And ignore everything else as unimportant. You know, like a cancer victim shouldn't want to live.
Who has said that? I mean, this is it just. I mean, why should I even bother listening to any more of this? You're not countering anything we are arguing. You're building a straw man and you're knocking it down. That's all you're doing. Whatever.
You know, it's just like, and if they do, what are they irrational? Are you going to tell them? Are you going to tell somebody suffering from cancer they're irrational for wanting to live?
No, we're going to say it's irrational for you to roll the dice for somebody else. Would you? I would ask the cancer victim. Would you want to want your progeny to get cancer? I mean, if you'd want your progeny to get cancer, you would be an asshole. That's what we're saying. I'm not saying the cancer victim shouldn't want to survive the cancer. I mean, my mom had cancer. I remember driving her to Baja California to get special treatment. And she lasted longer than they thought she would, but eventually the cancer got her. Actually, pneumonia got her. But I would ask her, would you want me, your son, to go through that same experience you did? I would hope she would have said no.
You're going to tell them that. You're going to tell them they're wrong, and because they're going through pain, that's bad, and if they stop living, there won't be any pain anymore. That's good, so that's what they must believe. You know what I mean?
No, I know somewhere in the title of this video is something like you put a trademark response to antinatalism. You're not responding to antinatalism, you're just spouting your same old crap.
It's just ridiculous. You know, people talking about, oh, we have so much empathy. We have so much empathy, but, you know, you have disdain for the opinions of a cancer sufferer that you care so much about.
Again, where are you getting this from? Name names.
Why should you want to live? Your life will be horrible. You've lost all your hair, you've lost all your weight. You know, you're just going to die in a couple of years anyway. Why do you still want to live? You're addicted. You know, but we have so much empathy for it, but we care so much.
And that's just a complete non sequitur. You can have empathy for the cancer victim and still tell them that they're not thinking straight. I mean, do they want to live with cancer forever? If they knew that there was no cure, would they want to keep on doing this crap? I mean, believe me, I can have empathy for a cancer victim since my mom had cancer. So,
and so on. Another thing is imposition thing, which is just entirely ridiculous.
Now, everything's ridiculous. I mean, let's hear what you have to say.
It's like, you can't impose on nothingness.
You're not imposing on nothingness. Jesus. You're bringing a new being into existence. You're not, that's what you're imposing on the new being. It's not, Jesus. We're not imposing on nothing.
You can't impose on a cell. Well, I guess you could, the cell's in a position.
Whoever said that imposition is we're imposing on a cell? Whoever said that? See, again, you're just making up stuff, strawmanning us, and that's all you're doing.
And you impose it into another position. I mean, you're imposing on it, but it doesn't have a nervous system or the apparatus.
It's going to have a nervous system. We know this. right? We know that when you fertilize an ovum, it's going to become a human being.
Be able to feel like sentient beings do, you know. But that cell multiplies a few times, you know, and becomes a fetus, and then the cells within it multiply until the entire organism has enough organisation to have those sensations. Then you can start imposing on it. Or no, I'm not saying you should, but it's possible to impose.
No, that's the imposition. You've created a new being. Yes, it takes a while. You can't just, I mean, if you could snap your fingers and create a human being, think of it that way, okay? If you can just bring a being into existence by snapping your fingers, if that was the way we did it, it'd be the same argument. It'd still be the anti-natalist argument. Don't snap your fingers.
Impose upon. You know, you can impose on subjects. You can't impose on carbon. Okay, you can't impose on carbon. I'm imposing life on this carbon. It doesn't work. You can't impose life on you know, inanimate matter.
Well, actually, I guess we can, can't we? It's called procreation. The sperm and the ovum are non-sentient. You put them together and they become a sentient being after a certain amount of time.
You can't impose on it. Impositions are what occur during life. Life itself is not the imposition. Yeah. But the people who...
So what you're saying is you're bringing them into a situation where they just might be imposed upon, and they are going to be imposed upon. I mean, I just got off work. I didn't want to work, but I have to work if I want to stay on this planet. If I want to, you know, I got a family. They need to eat. I need to eat. If I'm going to stay here, I got to eat. I've chosen to stay here. You're just non sequitur all over the place.
Who bring the being into existence, they're the imposers. No, I think the people who rape and torture the people who are alive are imposing rape and torture on them.
Yes, they are, but they, if the victim hadn't been brought into existence by you, there would have been no victim. This is really simple.
And torture on them. Is it the parents' fault? It's not the rapist's fault. It's the parents' fault.
Who said that? Who said the rapist is not to blame? Nobody said that. I mean, ultimately, you could say the rapist is not to blame, and ultimately you can say the parents are not to blame. Since it's a deterministic world. It's all cause and effect. We are the way we are because of nature and nurture. But the fact is, my brain is telling me, so to speak, that bringing a child into the world is not ethical. I mean, I've apologized to my son twice now. First time he was, we were discussing his student loans, and I was just like, have I ever apologized to you for bringing you into such a silly world? And he laughed. And I just, no, really, did I? He said, I don't think so. Well, I apologize for bringing you into a silly world. And the other time he said, well, headaches. Long-lasting headaches that sometimes don't respond to meds. And he doesn't have insurance. He can't be on mine. Well, as a matter of fact, I don't. My insurance is VA, and VA won't pay for offspring, especially adult offspring. Matter of fact, when I was working, they wouldn't pay for adult offspring. It's just bizarre. But yeah. I mean, the parents are to blame for bringing their kids into the world. Who else is there to blame?
It's the parents of the rape victim that are to blame for the rape occurring. If they hadn't had their child, that child wouldn't have been grown up or even raped as a child or an adult or what.
There you go. Thank you. That's the argument. And you're saying that, why is that, where's the break in the logic? It's cause and effect. It's cause and effect world. You don't know your child's future. If those parents had known their child was going to grow up to be a rapist, surely they wouldn't have procreated. But what you're doing is rolling the dice. And then when the dice come up snake eyes, you just say, oops, I didn't mean for that to happen. Well, you didn't mean for it to happen, but you knew it could happen. Right? There's a chance shit can go really bad.
You know, it just, what it stinks of, this whole, you know, mentality is, we can't do anything about what's going on.
See, that's complete bullshit. We are saying there is something you can do about it. I've said this before. You don't like what we're suggesting we do about it. It's the one solution that will solve the problem completely, but because it's on the fringes of society, you're just going to beat us down with bullshit. You're not giving a good reason why you should take the chance of bringing a kid into the world.
Other than, you know, it's like we can't have a perfect utopia called heaven. Therefore, nothing. It's all or nothing. You know, I asked Poodle Susan character on this. It's like, can you agree that there are solutions?
Well, I mean, give us what's your solution? I mean, it pretty much is all or nothing. Unless you have, do you have a different solution to the problem? You're saying just keep it going, and you know, if bad shit happens, oh well. I mean, I guess that's what you're saying. I don't know.
Other than no existence or the status quo. Couldn't agree. This is what we an intellectual argument. We have to fight between no existence and the status quo.
Well, I mean, the status quo is not good. All right, if there was no chance of shit going bad, we wouldn't have an argument. But there is a chance of shit going bad. That's why we say it's a risk. You're imposing a risk on somebody else just because you want to have. I don't know. What do you want? I mean, I had a kid. I have a kid. Typical reasons, you know, you want to, you know, be Mr. All-American. I was in the Army at the time. You know, you want to be the responsible adult raising a kid, because you gotta have kids. If you don't have kids, then there'll be no more humans. So what? There's no more humans. There's no more suffering. I know we're focusing on humans now. Efilism is what Mendham came up with to apply it to the whole 9 yards. Because yeah, all sentient beings, you know, the other sentient beings just do it. They're not, you know, they don't have language. They can't decide. They can't tell each other, hey, is what we're doing right or wrong? No, they just do it. And the other sentient beings suffer. So, man, I don't know what the fucking hell's your problem.
That's all. That's the only choices on the table.
Well, give us another choice. What's another choice?
How is that in any way a reasonable, rational, or sensible debate? It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, what's ridiculous is you're not giving us anything else.
It's a reductionism just there and make people think that they are right, that they have some kind of certainty, that alleviates some kind of fear that they have, makes them feel certain about the world that they are in.
Well, we are certain that bad shit happens. Are you uncertain of that? Are you, see, in order to procreate, you're the one that has to be certain that nothing bad's going to happen. But you can't be sure.
And to me, it makes them feel certain enough, fearless enough, to not bother doing anything.
Well, see, you say we're not doing anything, but this is what we're doing. We're telling people not to procreate. But apparently, that's not doing anything. I mean, I'm talking to the guy, my coworker. I'm introducing him to this very slowly. He thinks I'm a weirdo. Of course, I found out he's a Christian, and you know, when I told him I was an atheist, he was kind of. I'm pretty sure he was joking around. He said, "Oh, you know, I'm putting my 2-week notice in now. I know you're an atheist." I think he was just bullshitting, but whatever. Yeah, we're doing something. You're saying you can do something to do what? Reduce the percentage of bad things happening? But what we're saying is we can stop the bad things happening, period. There doesn't need to be human beings playing around on this planet.
Games that status quo, other than fighting some imaginary war on the internet against existence.
Imaginary war against existence. No, it's a philosophical debate. It's not an imaginary debate. We're having a debate. And there's been no counter-argument. There's just been straw man. There's just all of this non sequitur. You're going off on tangents, and you're not focusing on the subject. You think that I mean, there is true dichotomies, right? This happens to be one of them. Either it's ethical to procreate, or it's not ethical to procreate. I mean, I can't think of an instance where it would be ethical to procreate. At least give us that. When would it be ethical to procreate? Just anytime anybody can procreate? What? Give us something.
It's a great cause for apathy. Can't do anything, can't solve any problems. The only solution we have is to destroy all existence.
Just stop procreating. That's the preferred method. Just stop procreating.
I think there's a lot of myopic, reductionist, childish thinking going on there. And I've been saying this for years. Okay.
Well, I guess back at you on that one.
Here's how it goes. Your culture, everything in your culture, subliminally teaches you.
Oh, please. Subliminally teaches me. Good grief. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
You're working towards something. You're working towards heaven. So on. Working towards Christmas.
That's not subliminal. It's in your face. This is subliminal crap.
Santa's going to come. You have to do this, and then you'll get this at the end of it.
That's not subliminal.
And then when you're growing up as an adult, you're like, hold on. There's no heaven, there's no Santa. If I do this, it doesn't necessarily lead to some reward. It's not fair. Okay? We're told this is the way things are going to work, but they don't. We're told this is the way things are, but they aren't.
Well, see, I wasn't raised that way. Completely secular nurturing. Never went to church. We had Santa, but I mean, big deal. You know, you found out, oh, your parents were pulling the wool over your eyes for, you know, whatever, a good reason, I guess. I don't know. It is. I mean, it is stupid. But what the fuck? I mean.
Well, fuck, I've been lied to. Lies suck. Let's ditch the lies. Let's find a different way to think. Let's clear out all this subliminal shite that
What you're saying subliminal again? It's not subliminal. It's right there in your face.
We've gained and sucked in through osmosis throughout the years. Let's just clear it out. No. Instead, just be a reactionary.
See, I looked up reactionary, and I don't think you're using that word correctly. It has to do with unwilling to accept change, and we're talking about change, big change. You know, and also reactionary is more to the conservative end of the spectrum. You know, like, yeah, just keep believing in God. That would be quote reactionary, unquote.
Just go the opposite. No, it doesn't matter what you do, you won't get anything. There's nothing.
I mean, if you're using the reactionary word, just, yeah, we're reacting to the bullshit, well, yeah, everybody reacts to things. That's what we do. We are inherently reactionary. I mean, you're reacting to what we're saying, and I'm reacting to what you're saying.
Point doing anything. There's no purpose behind it all.
There is no purpose. I mean, that's a falsifiable statement. I'm saying there's no purpose. If there's no purpose in putting life on Mars. Now, tell me why you would put life on Earth. What would be the purpose?
Just reactionary bullshit. But there is no purpose in the universe, so why?
Yeah, you need to define what you mean by reactionary.
What was the purpose behind you saying there is no purpose in the universe? So
well, see, now you're talking about different things. We can make a purpose for ourselves. That's different than life having a purpose. Yes, I have a purpose in life. Take care of my wife. Okay, but what was the purpose of creating my wife? Just so I can take care of her? See, there was no purpose until nature said, make a purpose for yourself. But there's no purpose in that.
No purpose behind you saying there's no purpose in the universe? Oh, it appears there is purpose. There are purposes.
See, you're the one calling us childish. You suck.
If there weren't purposes, then why are you saying what you're saying? Clearly there are purposes.
See, that's different. You're non sequitur all over the place. Having a purpose for creating sentient life and having sentient life have a purpose in their life is two different things.
So stop saying there are no purposes.
I'm not saying there's no purposes. I'm saying there's no purpose. There's no purpose for sentient beings roaming the planet, eating each other. There's no purpose behind that.
No purpose? Well, there's a purpose behind what you just said. Thus negating your argument.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit now. Childish bullshit.
There's no universal purpose. Oh, you're upset that there's no universal purpose. You're lied to. Subliminally, you're drawing in that there's some kind of universal goal behind it all.
God, you keep using the word subliminal.
Okay. So your reaction is to say there are no purposes. There's no purpose as
you just, I think you're...
Is that one you've been lied to?
No, I think you're projecting. You're projecting your inadequacies onto us.
So everything else is just a pile of shit. That's a reactionary mind.
Everything else... Well, see, now that we're here, it's not a pile of shit to prevent harm. Preventing harm is not a pile of shit. That's a good thing.
Yeah, there's no point in decrying the brainwashing in your culture and then just going in the completely opposite direction into some other bullshit brainwashing.
That's bullshit brainwashing. No, we're using logic within the realm of ethics. Okay? Ethics has, ethics necessarily appeals to consequences. Long-term planning. Normally, an appeal to consequences would be a fallacy, but not in the field of ethics. So that's what ethics is all about. The consequences of your actions. Good grief.
It's a denial of reality. Your culture's in denial of reality, and your reaction to that culture's denial of reality is also a denial of reality.
Not knowing what to say.
If you're under 25 and you believe in this bullshit efilism or whatever, then fair enough. You know, it's just the same credit I give to Ayn Randists. You know, if you're under 25 and you believe in all this bullshit fairy tale stuff.
What bullshit fairy tale stuff? I'm totally fucking confused.
Cool. You'll more than likely grow out of it. If you're over 25 and you still believe in shit like this, despite the 1,000,001 ways in which it can be shown to be bullshit.
You haven't shown one way, much less 1,000,001.
Then you've got issues.
Well, that's for goddamn sure I got issues. The only reason I got issues is because I was brought into this fucked up world. God. I mean, Jesus. Duh. We got issues. That's for goddamn sure. Fuck.
So, yeah, there's a kind of semi-angry, semi-condescending video about this subject, which I don't feel comfortable making. But ultimately, you know, fuck you.
Hello, on YouTube we address the...
Ultimately, fuck you? Is that what you said? What the fuck ever. Later.